Georgia plays Ole Miss today. Ole Miss is a team. Hold on. Ole Miss is a team I am not really fond of. I guess is the right word. I am not a big Ole Miss fan. I do not like Ole Miss. Ole Miss is one of the few teams in college athletics I do not like. Georgia could really use a win tonight, and I think they got the win. Um, Georgia has not really done that bad this year, but a lot of people are gonna. And look, I thought this morning, a lot of people wanted Jonas Hayes as the coach, and that's fine. But guess what? Jonas Hayes is like 13th in the Sun Belt. They are they are dead last in the Sun Belt. This is from Adam Spencer. The power rank is Georgia's 10th. And look, I know Georgia State is like completely different than Georgia, but that still really doesn't matter. They are 1-7 versus, or not 1-7. Sorry, that's something else. They are 13th in the league. So, and you know what? There's a lot of people who didn't like the Mike White hire and stuff. And for you, I mean, if I can't change your opinion on it, then that's fine. But you were wrong. You were really, really wrong, because Mike White has done an amazing job. I mean, he beat our total win total for probably the last 2 seasons. Let's see, how many conference wins? And I'm actually on the preview history for Ole Miss. It's been a while since I actually got to do one and sit down and do a video like this. Georgia's 14-9, 4-6 in conference play. Why that does not look good. Georgia is still better than we were last year. Bulldogs return to Stegman Coliseum. 7 o'clock tip off. You can listen to the game on Georgia Bulldogs Radio Network with Scott, Chuck, and Adam. The President of the United States tonight, Joe Biden, is having a some speech or something at 9 o'clock. So the game actually might not be on WSB, because I believe WSB will show that. Now it ain't till like 8 or 9 o'clock, but I still think they won't. I still think they won't show it. So if you need to listen to the game, I would probably recommend 103.7 to Chuck FM, or this new station I found. We're gonna open this in a tab. WKTF. You could probably listen to the game on that, because the Gators are not playing. The Gators are not playing basketball tonight. They play tomorrow, so probably you could listen to that game on that station. Largest margin of victory in the series goes to Georgia. In 1991, they won 117-62. Smallest margin of victory, the greatest Georgia basketball game of all time. February 15th versus Ole Miss, 61-60. Kenny Gaines hits a free with 1 minute to go to get the deficit a little more than Ole Miss fouls Charles Mann. He hits the free throw, and wins the game, or one of the best games in Georgia's basketball history. Maybe not the best. And I don't know about Georgia's football team, but Georgia basketball can actually beat Ole Miss. The last time Georgia football team played them was the guy I won't mention's first year, and he went and they took a L. They took a hard L in Oxford. Georgia swept Ole Miss in 2020. I remember all those games. Fun times. 2021 was a loss in Athens, and then this year Georgia is looking for the sweep. Georgia and not wow. Ole Miss was one of the teams Georgia played in the infamous 07-08 SEC tournament. Uh, Georgia had to win 2 games in one day to advance. It was played at the Georgia Dome, but then when the Georgia Dome got hit by a tornado, they had to move that game to Georgia Tech's arena, and that's how that happened. Ole Miss actually won the first ever meeting, 1927, 44-37. This was before they had a 3-point line, so you know. Oh my god! Like I'm just looking at these scores, like this is way before the 3-point line, and in 1951, Ole Miss won 103-52. And that's what I'm just. This was way before they had a. The SEC wasn't even what it is nowadays during these games. Georgia averages 69 points a game. Ole Miss averages 67 points a game. Georgia unfortunately allows 68 points a game, and they're really right there with neck each other. If you round that up, that's 69 for Georgia, just a plain 68 for Ole Miss. Georgia lost our last time out. We lost to Texas A&M at what maybe would have been just Georgia's worst game of the year. I know that sounds hard to say, but I mean it really was Georgia's last game of the year. Jalen Ingram, 17 points for 1,500 points. Georgia leads the series in Athens 42-15. Somebody made a comment on Facebook earlier and they said Georgia's got to get Cario Quindo in the offense. And I really agree. Cario, when he gets going, he has done great stuff for Georgia. Like, for example, Jabri Abdul-Rahim for the last 2 or 3 weeks has been the man. Justin Hill has been the man the last few weeks. If we could get these guys playing, and then we could get, Braylon, the SEC has figured out Braylon, and Braylon has just been kind of, there the last few games. If we could get Braylon going again, if we could get Cario going again, Georgia will be just fine on offense and defense. Because when these guys play good, I mean, they're playing really good basketball. Mike White played for Ole Miss, so that's also interesting. He played basketball there. I'm just trying to read the stats. Like, M.A. has been playing good recently, but he's been up and down. Georgia has one of the best benches in the nation. Georgia won its first 10 games at Stegman Coliseum. I was trying to find a little history section on here. Like, was there a history of the important games in the series? I mean, I could kind of name them on the top of my head. I mean, like I said, the 08, the 08 tournament game, that caught my eye there. But, yeah, man, Georgia versus Ole Miss. Softball season also starts. Baseball season starts very soon. Softball season starts this week, Thursday. In the Black and Gold Invitational at UCF, they will play UCF, Boise State. What are the other teams they're going to play? Georgia Gym has been going hard and strong. I just hadn't had time to do anything with them, unfortunately, because I hadn't been able to watch their games, or matches, or meets. Or I forgot what they're called. But anyway, I've not been able to watch them, unfortunately. Georgia will play UCF, Boise State, Ohio State, and that is not working. That's not working. Oh, here we go. Schedule. Georgia will play UCF, Ohio State, Boise State, UMass, and then Boise State again on Sunday. So Thursday you got UCF, Friday Ohio State and Boise State. Saturday you got one game in UMass, and then Sunday you got Boise State. Baseball season is about to be here too. Georgia opens up against what's that team name? think it was Eastern Washington. I know it sounds weird, but I think it was the Eastern Washington Eagles. Jacksonville State. I was off by a long shot. um, I mean, I'm really excited for Georgia baseball. I think this is going to be the year we finally could make the SEC World Series. We can win the SEC tournament too. Jacksonville State, Princeton, Preston College, Georgia Southern, Charles Southern, and then that's Georgia's non-conference slate. I mean, that really does not look bad. The conference is what scares me, though. I mean, you go to Oxford, Arkansas goes to Athens. You go to Gainesville, which historically you hadn't been good. You go back to Nashville since 2021. Georgia actually beat Vanderbilt in Nashville. You go to South Carolina. South Carolina comes to Athens. You go to Columbia, and the worst team Georgia plays is Georgia always plays awful against LSU. In the last series of the year against LSU, that will be a very crucial series. Georgia will have to win that series if we have any dreams of a regional. I know it's early, but I'm just saying Georgia never beats LSU. That's a series Georgia has to win. But Georgia versus Ole Miss tonight. I'm just looking for a good game. I'm tired. I know we haven't lost many games this year, but I don't like Ole Miss. That's one of the teams that I've never really cared for. I just want to win against these guys because I'm looking at our last few games. Auburn, 93-73. We did get the winner from South Carolina, which felt awesome. 82-85. If Georgia would have came back and won that game against Vanderbilt, that would have been one of the biggest comebacks of all time. This is it. This is the last legit homestand of the year. We have 2 games at home, February 25th and 28th against Missouri and Florida, but this is probably the most crucial. Georgia has to get out of this at least 2-1. I mean, you probably won't. We can mess around and beat Kentucky. I think we will. I think we can beat Kentucky, but if they have a game like they had against us the first time, no chance. LSU has a first-year head coach. Ole Miss, you've got to go 2-1. If you go anything worse than that, your tournament hopes are pretty much dead. You got to beat Alabama. Georgia never does good in Fayetteville. Stegman Coliseum, Missouri, and Florida. I think we could beat Florida and Missouri, and then we end the season in Columbia, South Carolina. That's going to be a win. The tournament is back in Nashville this year, so yeah. Let's go Hoop Dogs, and let's get a win versus Ole Miss. Why? Because frick the Ole Miss Rebels.
Dogs do the improbable, the unthinkable, the unbelievable. They beat Arkansas and go wire to win the SEC tournament.